Which propaganda effort was so successful, people still believe it today? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more. Lie detector tests are accurate, they're junk science at best. People, when the inventor of the device and procedures used is on record saying it's crap, we should probably listen. Looking at you, Florida, for allowing LD test results as evidence in court. I am from Germany and some of my grandparents still believe the stuff they were told about Jews by the Nazis, like when a Jewish person dies on a Christian holiday they get hung behind the door and everyone who comes in has to spit on him. It's some vile stuff. I can't believe how they were spoon-fed with this in their early years. Edit. Another one I remember is that they were told that at a Jewish funeral, the dead person gets a stone put in their pocket, so if they cross Jesus in the afterlife they can throw it at him. The Armenian genocide never happened. My Turkish friends still believe this. Drinking fountains are unhealthy. The bottled beverage industry commissioned and publicized a series of studies in the early 1990s when they decided to get into the bottled water business. The problem was that their largest competitor was free and available in schools, parks, and public buildings everywhere. Anyone who took even a semester of biology knows that if you walk around and swab and culture anything, you'll find that it's covered in bacteria. That's ecology on planet Earth. Nestlé done a smear campaign saying formula feeding is best. They mainly done it in third world countries. Nestlé owns majority of formula companies, so they got rich and uneducated third world counties suffered as they would rather use this healthier option, but made it with dirty water, meaning children died, which wasn't needed as most have no issue making breast milk. The McDonald's hot coffee smear campaign to hide the lawsuit. That fat is the thing to avoid in foods, taking away the spotlight from sugar. Apparently in the 80s KFC ran a Christmas-themed ad in Japan, and to this day the Japanese eat KFC on Christmas. Absinthe makes you hallucinate was propaganda because it was hurting the wine industry. When Edward Bernays, the father of public relations, literally renamed propaganda that we want people to think is not bad to public relations and advertising, and he literally admitted it in a book he made called Propaganda. Propaganda is, quite literally, just media that is attempting to persuade you. It might be honest or dishonest, but, no matter what, it is still propaganda. That you need to eat 3 or more large meals per day to be happy and healthy. And that a sugary breakfast is by far the most important part of that day. The myth that Spartans threw unhealthy babies off mountains, this was Athenian propaganda. Holy crap, I got a silver, thank you anonymous person. Many Korean people believe that fans can cause death. Even my mother, who moved to America in her mid-teens, still prohibits me from leaving a fan on overnight for fear of death. There is a conspiracy theory that the South Korean government spread this myth as propaganda to prevent energy overusage, but its origins are unknown. It's strange that many Koreans believe this myth considering it is one of the most technologically advanced countries. Engagement rings are required for marriage. Carrots make your vision better. MSG will kill you and is horrible to ingest. I'm allergic to MSG, really. It is delicious and your body produces it naturally while breaking down regular salt. Some people do have sodium issues, and it may not be good for them. But that's a tiny micro percentage of people. That teeth are supposed to be perfectly white. That big curvy line of toothpaste with a Dairy Queen curl we've seen in every toothpaste ad. You don't need more than a pea-sized smear of paste on your brush. Knuckle cracking gives you arthritis. That turning the light on in the back seat of the car is illegal. That if you ask if someone is a cop, if they are a cop they legally are required to say yes they are, of course they aren't required to, that defeats the entire purpose of working undercover. Sugar companies paid the media to say that fat made you fat. I mean, all food in extreme amounts will put you on the heavy side, but sugar is the true villain here. That Napoleon Bonaparte was short. He was 5 feet and 7 inches tall, which might be a little bit on the shorter side by modern standards, but it was around the average height for people back then. The idea that he was short actually came from a British propaganda campaign to mock him. The lie that nuclear power is terrible. It is worse than renewables, however, instead of chucking huge quantities of dangerous waste into the air like a coal power plant, it can all be contained, and 95% can be reprocessed into new fuel. In the 60s and 70s, a lot of oil giants used advertising to link its reputation to the very real danger of nuclear weapons, and if this hadn't have happened, global warming would have been much less of an issue. Very few people realize that coal power actually causes more deaths per megawatt than nuclear power due to nitrous oxide emissions, even when Chernobyl is included in the statistics. Edit. A lot of people are saying that nuclear is as good, or possibly better than renewables. I agree that at the moment, for baseline power, it is better, and we should be using it a lot more. In the long term though, I think that renewable are a better solution due to not needing refueling, and needing less oversight once production of the power plants themselves becomes cleaner and better storage solutions are devised. That monosodium glutamate (MSG) is harmful. If such an allergy were ever possible, it has never been proven. You'd literally die, because it means you're either allergic to sodium, or glutamate, which are in almost every single food or drink known to man. That Listerine invented the term halitosis for bad breath. They didn't. It predates them by decades. It's just something that sounds nice to say because you get to attack a big corporation. Autism and vaccines. The original guy wanted to advertise his own vaccine but did not disclose this when he published a hit piece on the mainstream vaccine at the time, in a reputable journal. His alternative vaccine failed, his paper was bashed and ultimately retracted, yet people smart enough to work at Google don't vaccinate their kids. Diamonds as a symbol of eternal love. That fat is unhealthy nutrient that is, not actually being fat. Nixon's drug campaign. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Camels don't store water in their humps. They store fat in their humps. That a man should spend 2 months' salary for his future wife's wedding ring, which absolutely must be a diamond. Screw that, I spent a total of $150 for my wife's ring and she fucking loves it, and it's a sapphire. Diamonds are no more precious than any other precious gem, and manufactured gems are way easier to come by, are more perfect, and so much cheaper. As long as it's an actual ruby, sapphire, emerald, etc., it will be just as good as one dug out of the ground. Fake ones are good for a teen gift or just friends kind of gift, but they'll shatter pretty easy compared to the real thing. Edit. Thanks for the silver, random beautiful person. Columbus was the only person who believed the world was round. Literally everyone who could read knew that the earth was round. Nobody thought Columbus would fall off the edge, they thought his crew would starve to death before reaching the East Indies, and he totally would have. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day and that cereal, toast, sugary things are part of a balanced breakfast. Know plenty of people who function perfectly without eating anything for breakfast. Thanks for watching, please leave a like and subscribe for more content.